Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at these three new figures from the Spin Master 4-inch line for the upcoming film Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So we have Orm, Stealth Suit Aquaman, and Mera. Now there are technically 5 figures in the assortment if we spin around to the back here. But Aquaman and Black Manta, as far as I can tell, are exactly the same as the ones from that 4-pack I got at Target earlier, which I've already reviewed. So I didn't rebuy them. I just got the 3 characters that were new. Now they are in this new style of packaging that Spin Master seems to be doing, where they've gotten rid of the plastic and they're just tied to the back of the card here. And then the accessories should be in this area underneath. So I will go ahead and get all 3 of these out of the packaging and we'll take a closer look. Here are the 3 figures out of the packaging. We'll start on the left with Orm. Kind of a basic design. I think he's probably going for like a stealth suit thing similar to Aquaman. Although I don't remember what he wore in the first movie. It was probably something like this. There's a lot of nice detail in the suit. You can see like the belt and the armor and everything. And even the texture here for kind of like the scale parts of his armor, which I think is really nice. But there's just really no paint whatsoever. It's just this kind of dark blue, almost black colored plastic. The head sculpt is decent. Unfortunately, he's got a little bit of schmutz there on the neck. Maybe I can clean that off. But yeah, the head sculpt I think came out pretty good. Nicely painted and detailed. You have a ball joint for the head, so you get a little bit of back and forth, but mostly side to side. All these figures have pretty much the same articulation. You have the hinge on the shoulder there, as well as the rotation. You have a hinge and a rotation in the elbow. You have ball-jointed hips, so you can kick a little bit, not straight forward because it kind of hits into like how they have the crotch molded here, so it kind of wings out a little bit to the side. But you can kick pretty far out to the side. I'd say maybe 50 degrees. That's on a ball joint. Then you have a thigh swivel, and then you have a hinge and a rotation in the knee. So the knees and the elbows are basically the same joint, and then you have a ball joint for the hip with a thigh swivel, and then kind of a hinge and rotation in the shoulder and ball joint for the head. So pretty decently articulated. I mean, these figures are still $7.99 a piece, which I think is crazy. You can see here he's got this kind of sword. I'm not sure if this is a sword or a gun or maybe both, because this section here almost kind of looks like he's supposed to hold it like a gun. So maybe it's kind of like a combination sword-gun situation. I'm not 100% sure. But it's an interesting weapon nonetheless. He also comes with what I'm assuming is a pair of handcuffs. So you could kind of... I mean, to me it looks like he's supposed to hold them. That's the way they have these done, which I don't know why you would hold handcuffs. It would seem like you could get out of them pretty easily by just letting go. But if you want to simulate that he's got handcuffs, you could do that. Or I think you technically could slide the hand through here. I think this hole is large enough that you could pop these over the hands like this. So I think we saw in the trailer that obviously from his actions from the first movie, he's like in jail, and then Aquaman releases him to help him fight against Black Manta. So you can kind of do either way with the handcuffs there, which is a nice little accessory. Plus you could use them for somebody else and any other figures you have. So definitely a fun accessory there. But yeah, overall I think Orm looks pretty cool. I just think it would have been nice if he had a little bit more color to him, but again, that might be a movie design thing and not really something Spin Master's in control of. Because the detail is definitely there. I mean, all the molded detail is in the suit, and he looks great. It's just his bodysuit is basically all one color, which is kind of a bummer. Next up, we have Stealth Suit Aquaman. And I'm actually surprised how much I like this figure. I really didn't think I was going to like him that much at first. When I saw him in the store, he kind of just looked, you know, one note to me, all very, like, dark blue. But he's actually got 2 different main colors here. So he's got the kind of navy blue, but then he's also got this kind of metallic gunmetal gray, which, when you first look at it, they kind of blend together. But the more you look at it, you can kind of see the differences. And it's kind of a neat color scheme. It's a very, you know, darker overall color scheme, but if you look, you can kind of see the differences there. Now, he's also got these 2 baton weapons, which I think look kind of cool. I don't know if they're in the movie or they just gave them to him randomly. I'll have to wait until it comes out. But they almost kind of look like Nightwing batons or something like that. So if you had a Nightwing figure and you wanted to give him some batons, you could probably repurpose these. But overall, yeah, it's a really nice figure, and I have to say I was very surprised if we take a comparison here to the, you know, kind of classic Aquaman, it's very different. I thought it was going to be a straight up repaint, but you can see, you know, the gloves and the boots had to be remolded because they don't have the kind of flourishes at the end. The molding here on the side is different. They probably reused the head, and they probably reused most of the torso. But everything else, I mean, they had to remold it, and so it's very different. I thought it was going to be a straight repaint, and then when I actually got the two next to each other, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I think they're both figures. Obviously, if you want a more classic look for Aquaman, you're going to go with this, and this is a really great figure. But I kind of like this one, too. It's growing on me, the stealth suit. So if you need to do some ninja stuff, go ahead and get the darker color scheme so you can move through the shadows. But yeah, I think it's cool that they're that different because I really was not expecting that. So this guy is available in a single pack figure and also part of the 4-pack that I got at Target. So I would advise going for the 4-pack so you don't end up with duplicates. That's just me. Next up, we have Mera. And I think she came out great. I really like the texture. I think like a lot of these figures have this. It's almost like a chainmail texture. And I think that's so cool. I mean, obviously it's like the scales and everything for being underwater, but they do a really great job of adding that texture to the figures. And I think that's really cool. So you can see her hair is kind of in this like underwater, almost windswept kind of a way. I mean, I guess it's just supposed to simulate that it's kind of floating there. But I think that's kind of cool. Head sculpt looks pretty good. Nicely painted and detailed. They do a pretty good job with that. She's got the crown there. Now, because of the hair, that does limit articulation, but you can see the head moves around a little bit. She does have the same articulation as everyone else. Shoulder, elbow, ball-jointed hips. Got the thigh swivel and the knees. She's got kind of high heel feet here. Now, she comes with two very interesting accessories. They're, I guess because in the movie, if I remember correctly, she kind of like shoots water. So you have these kind of giant, like translucent-y water pieces that you just kind of peg into the hand. Like she grabs a hold of the post here, and then it kind of looks like she's, you know, launching like a water Hadouken, basically. But it's kind of neat. I think it's a neat feature. I think it looks pretty cool. So she's got that larger one, and then she's got this smaller one here, which I'm going to drop apparently. I think, am I supposed to put this one in this hand? It's kind of weird because this one has two posts. So you can see the normal size post, and then there's these two smaller ones. So I'm not 100% sure which one. I guess you could grab onto either. I guess it would work. And it looks like she's just getting ready to kind of form the water attack. So interesting. Fun little accessories. You know, I think it's a little something different. But if you wanted her to just use an accessory from someone else, obviously that is an option. She can hold on to all these accessories. So, well, she can, I promise. She doesn't have the best grip, but she can do it. So, cool looking figure. Like I said, I think the color blue is really a nice color, and I love the texture. I think all that, like, armor, like, almost like chainmail, I think looks really, really cool, and it's a nice effect that they do very well. So, I think that's really cool. She's definitely the most colorful out of this set. The others, it's kind of like you lose color as you go down the line. But they're cool figures. I like them a lot. I mean, I really applaud Spin Master for continuing to do these figures for $8 a piece. I think that's kind of insane. Everybody else, even Jazzwares, which used to keep all the Fortnite stuff at $9.99, has kind of had to add $1 or so, which I get. You know, they do a lot of detail and articulation and paint and everything as well. So I guess to kind of keep the price down, maybe they're doing a little bit less paint here, or I know they're doing less accessories because I think they used to do 3 accessories. But I'll be honest, I'm fine with that if it keeps the price down most of the time. I mean, the accessories were perfectly fine. Hang out, Mera. But I didn't need like all 3. Half the time they'd be ones you have already, or, you know, just kind of weird repaints of things. And so I'm perfectly fine with them kind of scaling back a little bit in that regard if it keeps the price down. But either way, for $8 a piece, these figures are great, and I definitely recommend checking them out. And I'm excited to see the movie. I think it looks pretty cool. Can't wait to check that out. But yeah, I found these at Target. That's the only place I've seen them so far. Target has an exclusive 4-pack, which I've already reviewed. I'll put a link at the end of this video. And they also have a like Aquaman and Black Manta sub, and it comes with a sub for Black Manta. It just seems like every set has Aquaman and Black Manta, which I understand. But if I buy everything in this line, I'm going to end up with like 4 of each of them, and I don't need that. So I'm trying to minimize the amount of Aquamans that I deal with. But the nice thing is, with the individual figures, you can just pick up the ones you don't already have, which is what I've done here. So very cool. Definitely recommend these 3, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.